Well, hello, everybody. I'm Al. Welcome to CiNEMACHiNE. I'm here with Brandon.
Hello there.
And once again, we fly as a duo. Ryan, well, he's in contract negotiations. That's all we'll say.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah, it's just...
He's playing hardball. We're playing hardball.
Brandon doesn't know what sports are, so it's really difficult. So
who's on first? What's on second?
Well,
you know how it goes.
Yeah, you know how it goes. Well, of course, we'd like for you guys to comment and everything. Brandon, you want to tell them how they can get in touch with us before we get started tonight? See, I did it right.
Sure. Yeah, we'll do. Good job. Yeah, so you can find us at cinemachinepod.com on the interwebs. Obviously, you're here on YouTube. Welcome. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on Patreon at CinemAchinePod. And yeah, just hit us up on all those platforms. We would love to start a convo with you over there. And if you're here, please comment in the comments, as we like to say.
Comment in the comments.
We'll comment back.
What was it? I remember our early days. That was like
so long ago. Our early days.
Almost a year ago, man.
How we've grown.
We're almost at a 1-year anniversary. We've grown backwards. So
yeah,
we are the Benjamin Button of these shows.
Pretty much. Yeah. Now we're down to 2 people.
Yeah. We do this just to keep our trust funds going. So, So anyway, well, this week there's a great deal of news in the movie industry. There's also a lot of trailers that we are seeing come through, more trailers than we have news. So we're going to get into some of those, and we're going to talk about what's coming out this week. Amongst all of that, we're going to talk about some of the physical media that we've purchased and some of the things that we've seen. We do miss Ryan, so we really hope that the negotiations go well. Hashtag pay Ryan. That's the hashtag. So,
yes,
whatever.
Not us, but you. Yeah, somebody else will.
Somebody else pay him. Hit that Patreon up so Ryan can get paid. Anyway, well,
he's the one that handles the money there, so he's getting it. I'm not. I don't see it. I don't know.
I don't see it. I don't see it either. I don't know what's happening. So we've got
we got one patron, and he just hit the road with that money coming in. He's like, "See ya."
$4. Yeah, no. But so Ryan will be back hopefully next week. He had to be with his family. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that serious. Just keep everybody guessing.
We don't know if it's serious or not. So he did not divulge.
Yeah, so. He burned his foot in a very odd way. That's all I'll say. So.
Yeah, it's one of those Michael Scott
that's what I was
likes
thinking.
The smell of bacon in the morning. George Foreman grill incidents.
No, it's fun to speculate, but whatever. We're here so we can have some fun. So today, Brandon, and this week, and just it's happening because we're getting closer and closer and closer. But they released the new Dune character posters.
Yes.
35 minutes of screened, for select screenings for select critics. And they have now revealed the title for Dune 1. So,
yeah, Dune Part 1.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Well, let's just go through the character posters real quick.
Okay.
Not that I don't think either of us have a lot of knowledge of this book, or maybe you have a little bit of knowledge from the Lynch film.
I honestly can barely remember anything, and I don't think that the Lynch film did it the justice that the book lovers have. So,
sure.
Yeah. So, but hey, at least it has a date on it. We'll see if that sticks.
I think it will. I think it's sticking.
Because we'll see. Well, I'll say.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got Timothy Chalamet as Paul. Now, again, these characters not going to mean anything to me. They probably mean something to our listeners because I'm sure a lot of people
let
hold
us
this
know
book in
if
high regard.
you're a Dune fan.
So I believe these three right here, Lady Jessica and Duke Leto are Paul's mom and dad. That's my understanding. We'll get into the trailer later, but it's very clear in the trailer that Oscar Isaac's character is his dad. He calls him dad in the trailer.
Yeah.
So this is one of those things that we've talked about a lot, but this is like one of those super stat cast movies. And you can kind of see that with all these posters. And you've got Duncan Idaho, Jason Momoa, Kearney, who's been played by Josh Brolin, Chani, I guess, or Shani, I'm not sure. Zendaya. Let's see here. And then, oops.
Uh-oh.
Boom. There you go. A little behind the scenes mishap there. Stilgar, Javier Bardem, who I'm really excited for because I haven't seen him in since personally I don't think I've seen him since Skyfall. In anything that I've watched. I'm sure he's been in stuff. But
that might have been the last time I saw him in a movie. Like in a movie I saw. But
yeah.
I'm telling.
So then, yes, Stellan Skarsgård and Sharon Duncan Brewster, the Baron and I don't know, Leet kinds. People are yelling at us right now. Yelling at me.
I'm letting you fall.
And then you've got Dave Bautista and Howie Mandel. I don't know. That looks like Howie. David Dastmalchian.
Jeff
who
Bezos.
I do love. I love David Dastmalchian. He's great. And Charlotte Rampling. Anyway, so I don't know a lot about these characters, but these posters look great. I'll say that.
They do.
I think that everything marketing wise that's come out, and we'll get into the trailer later, but everything has been so just cinematic, like beautiful, like location wise. And obviously, I mean, I know that they probably shot on location for a lot of things, but with the nature of this kind of movie, you can't shoot everything in camera. But it looks well. We'll just talk about the posters. Posters look great. Lots of characters, lots of talent involved. Super exciting. And yeah, the 35 minutes of screen that happened yesterday or some point this week. People like critics and bloggers and things, people that have any sort of influence have been posting social media reactions to that. I think they saw like the first 15 or 20 minutes of the movie and then saw another extended scene and then the trailer that came out today. Nothing but hype.
I don't know about you, but and I kind of think I know where you stand on this, but I wouldn't want. I mean, yeah, I'd be honored to be invited to something like that, or to see something like that. But I don't think I'd want to see. We were talking earlier. We'll go ahead and let's go ahead and talk about the trailer in a second too, while we're on this subject. But I didn't even want to watch the whole trailer. It just felt like. I mean, I watched I watched the whole trailer, but as you said, you kind of watched it fleeting glances, and it just felt like there was too much in the trailer. And I was like, I think it was 4 minutes long. That's way too long for a trailer, for my opinion. It just felt like there was too much in there. I might be totally wrong, but it just felt like I watched a great majority of the movie. So I'm kind of nervous about that. So I'm going to stay away. I usually don't worry about stuff like that. I'm not saying I'm worried. I mean, it's first world issues, but I'm just saying I want to stay away from as much as I can.
Well, you got to be nervous about your damn kid.
Dad? Uh,
I got that one for you. Last week, I was like, I need Dole Hargrave in the mix here because Al says nervous a lot. He's nervous all the time. And that's the way I feel. You're a kid, Al. You're a 40-year-old kid.
So, no, I don't want to spoil this movie because I've been looking forward to it so much. So, how do you feel?
I agree. I just think, I mean, this is just, this movie has to make money. They needed to make money. They're trying. I mean, obviously now, I mean, we had heard that it was going to be part one of a 2-part story. And then it was confirmed by the people that saw this footage that the title was Dune Part 1. Mm-hmm. And then they have a TV show on HBO that's coming out in addition to what they intend to make with Part 2. Or maybe they've shot some, I don't know. It could be one of those things. I don't think they've shot Part 2. But
I doubt it. I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but I doubt it. Like we talked about last week. I mean, what did they call him? Frankie Dillon, whatever they called him in that story. Francis Denis Villeneuve. I mean, his movies aren't known for making a lot of money at the box office. And
yeah, well, at least not
his a tough one.
His latest one obviously didn't. Blade Runner 2049,
which
still reviewed well. Me. Yeah, I think it's just one of those. I think it's just one of those things where majority audiences weren't invested in the first one to begin with. It's kind of has a very cult following.
Yeah, no, it's very cult.
And when you invest the kind of money, because the money is on screen in Blade Runner 2049. I mean, that's why they tried similar, like kind of how they're doing with Dune, getting a lot of faces, a lot of people that, common audiences will know and maybe latch onto, like that'll hit different demos. They did that with Gosling in 2049 and it just didn't work as well. Not to say that Gosling isn't a good actor, but he's a name that people recognize. Like,
right.
Harrison Ford is a name too, but he's not going to pull the younger audiences.
Yeah.
But anyway, I say all that to say this, that like I was saying earlier, I just feel like they keep putting out all this promotional stuff, doing these IMAX little sneak peek screenings and showing stuff to different bloggers. They just need people to be talking about this, get the heat up a little bit on it, because it is a big property for them. They have a lot invested in it financially and for the future as well.
$165 million. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it looks great. I mean, we'll talk about like we said, the trailer came out today for us normies that didn't get to see it in IMAX yesterday or earlier this week. And yeah, like you were saying, you kind of didn't want to see much more. I didn't either. I debated on not even watching it when it popped up, but and I sent it to you guys and I was like, I'll watch it and just kind of let it gloss over me, just not think too hard about it. And that way, but by the time October gets here, I'll forget what I saw for the most part. But to briefly go over what I saw, I thought it looked great. It's the kind of movie that's it works for me on many levels, as far as it's sci-fi. It's very it's got things that remind me of Star Wars. It's got a great cast. It's got, lots of cool world building and lore that I can tell that I'm going to be super into. Mm-hmm. I know that you're probably not going to like this sentiment, but it reminded me a lot of like the costuming and stuff reminds me a lot of the Krypton sequence in Man of Steel. So obviously I'm into that. And yeah, I love Denis Villeneuve. I love his directing style. Cinematography is always he's not using Deakins on this one. I think it's who is the guy? I think is it the guy that shot Once Upon a Time that's doing the cinematography? I can't think of his name.
Greg Fraser.
Fraser, yeah, I think he's doing it. He did Once Upon a Time, right?
I believe so.
He was going to
from
shoot
Melbourne. He did Rogue One. Hey, there we
right.
go.
Yeah.
He did
He-
the
Zero Dark
Batman.
30.
Did the Batman.
Yeah.
Mandalorian. Did some of the Mandalorian. Vice. I'm not seeing. Once upon a time. But he did.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But anyway, yeah, you're the Zero Dark 30.
Did a Dollar Shave
Rogue
Club
One
commercial.
Oh, nice.
Does that help?
Yes.
He did Foxcatcher.
Yeah, it all checks out. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like one of those similarly to like The Revenant, where everything's shot natural light. Like it just looks, just really like cinematic.
It looks very dystopian, and it's, the first thing I thought about when it just came up was, this could be what the Star Wars fans gravitate towards, since a lot of them are not satisfied with what has been placed in front of them, as far as Star Wars. Not all of them, but some of them.
Yeah.
Fair majority. And
more of an adult Star Wars, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And maybe that's what we need. But at the same time, the story is pretty complex. That's all I remember. It's been said that it was unfilmable for a long time, and now this is the second go at it. So we'll see just how, how he was able to capture the Dune story. But at the same time, the Star Wars crowd really was predicated on the younger crowd getting into it. So I don't think this will sell a lot of toys. Maybe
they do have toys though.
Maybe to adults. I'm not sure. But I just feel like this is more of like a dystopian kind of Rogue One, Star Wars-esque type of thing. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
What's funny is I remember hearing people talk about Dune. They talk, people mentioning things like spice mining and whatever. And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking literally like spices, like, like they're like harvesting spices and things. But apparently it's like some sort of interstellar, like superpower element type thing that the characters can use for travel and to get like powers from, essentially. And they kind of talk about that a little bit. I think the characters that have the blue eyes, I believe, are the ones that have that ability. And you see at the end of the trailer that Chalamet has them blue eyes. So,
Chalamet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it looks super epic, and looks like there's some family stuff in there, which I'm always a fan of. And just going to be a good time. I can't wait. It's going to be a great, big, get a group together, go see it in IMAX, and then kind of have a big discussion at Tin Lizzy afterwards.
I'm sure that we'll be seeing pre-sale pretty soon. So
yeah, I mean, it's a couple months away, so I can see that. And depending on how those pre-sales go, will determine how much more stuff we get to talk about on here. Because if pre-sales don't go well, then they're going to start pumping more stuff out.
I am kind of nervous though, because, and I don't want to get into any kind of.
Well, you got to be nervous about your damn kid.
I am nervous about this though. They're reporting more lockdowns, second round of lockdowns. So I don't know that the theater industry would survive that. We talk about that quite a bit on here, being just the first round, but I just don't know that they could survive that financial strain. So let's hope that, people can stay healthy, not just for movies, but, for the right reasons.
Agreed.
Well, Another movie. I don't know that anybody has asked for this. Maybe somebody has. I know that the second of this now going to be trilogy was not well received, but they're going to be making Clerks 3.
Yeah.
Going to be a mixed cast. Basically, Randall is going to have the heart attack that Kevin Smith had in real life in this story, and it's going to drive him to actually do something. So, with his life instead of just kind of coasting. So,
Yeah.
Are you a fan of? I know you're a fan of Kevin Smith. Are you a
Yeah.
fan of the Clerks movies
Yeah.
or movie or what?
Yeah, I like both of them.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I honestly didn't know the second one was not received well. I thought it was good. Yeah, I mean, I haven't, I'm trying to think. I haven't seen Yoga Hosers. That looked not great.
That was not good. I saw some of it. I couldn't even make it through it.
I did see Tusk and enjoyed it. Thought it was just crazy fun.
That one's a hard one to watch, like visibly, because it's the transformation. I'll say that.
Yeah, but it becomes kind of comical, especially at the end when you're at the zoo.
Yeah, it's really bad, and yeah, but yeah,
I mean, I like Kevin Smith as a person and a personality more than I like his movies. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I like that cast. I hope Rosario Dawson's come back because I like her in pretty much anything. Yeah, I mean, I know that he's been trying to make this and a Mallrats sequel for a while.
Yeah,
but
apparently he was supposed to be making the Mallrats sequel, but
he was at one time, and then something happened. And
I'm guessing the Coof got it, but no telling.
I didn't see Jay and Silent Bob.
Strike Back.
The last one.
Strike
the last
Back,
one.
Is that what it's called?
That was the first one. I don't remember what this last one was called. We're bad at movies.
So let's start a movie show. No, I had no interest. I don't think many people did in the Jay and Silent Bob. I think, to be honest with you, I think I just outgrew Kevin Smith. Did you ever see Red State?
No.
That was I
remember it.
Serious movie. It was okay. Yeah. I like Mallrats. That's my favorite of his. I know a lot of people like Dogma, but personally, I just don't like it. I didn't like Chasing Amy either. But I like Mallrats. It was the first DVD I ever owned. Somebody gave it to me for Christmas when I got a DVD player. That kind of tells you how long ago it was. But I don't know. Clerks is good. Now I'll tell you what was funny. The Clerks cartoon. That was funny. That was a funny cartoon.
I remember seeing that in the video store, not really knowing what it was. I didn't really know anything about Clerks at that point.
Yeah, but it was a funny cartoon. I mean, it was, actually watered down. It wasn't vulgar at all, but it was pretty fun. I actually bought the DVD box set at Amoeba Records, so I owned it for a little while. It was good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'll be seeing this, but
I'll see it.
I wish the best for him, but I've heard some people going in pretty heavy on his He-Man. I don't know if anything's true. I haven't watched it. I don't know anything more than I've just seen people getting mad about it. But people get mad about everything now, so who knows? Well,
people just get mad. In your circle of news, which is the GSN.
The GSN.
It's a lot of angry reporting. So I believe it when you say it. But I've saw the people that I know that like He-Man. I've seen them be pretty excited about it. But
well, they're excited it's coming out, but he's
different...
made some decisions that aren't true to the original He-Man. But I don't keep up with that stuff. Like you guys, I don't keep up with that.
I don't either. I don't know anything about He-Man. It wasn't something I was into.
I loved He-Man as a kid. I saw He-Man the live show, like on stage, like in concert. Like it was He-Man and She-Ra. I thought it was the real He-Man on stage and lost my mind.
So I had a similar situation when I was in elementary school. I live in a small town. We had a little like fall festival, and they brought in like a trailer, like a hay trailer, and had two people dressed up in Power Ranger suits with like helmets that were like this big,
like motorcycle helmets.
And I was like, "Oh, it's Tommy and Jason. They're here." I got their autograph.
I saw Ninja Turtles in concert as well when I was a kid, and like they were playing guitar. If you ever get a chance, go
VHS of that.
Okay,
concert.
So you know how bad it was. I thought that was like the cat's meow. Let me tell you, like I just remember one of them playing a Star guitar. That's all I remember, and I was convinced Ninja Turtles ain't no cartoon. They're real. They're right there in front of me. And now that I look back on it, the costumes were terrible. They were terrible. So it was pretty bad. But I had the tape, I had the cassette tape, and played it proudly. And I'm sure my mom was not not happy about that because I played it all the time. I don't remember He-Man having music. I just remember them doing like when Skeletor came on stage, it was pretty convincing. I wasn't scared, but I was just like, all right, I don't want to go anywhere closer to the stage, you know, and I was pretty far back. So, but
yeah,
you know, that's the fun of being a kid. So good times, childhood. Well,
indeed.
All right. So
indeed. I was trying to find a picture of the Ninja Turtles.
From back then,
people at home that aren't aware. Yeah, hang on, I got one right here.
Okay, here we go.
Check this out.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, there's the Star guitar. Raphael playing the Star guitar, man.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
so good.
Look at those. Throw it back up. Look at those. What do they call those? Those leggings or whatever. The
knee guard things. Oh, the little
ankle warmers or whatever
ankles,
they're called. And the denim jacket. That is so freaking cheesy, but man, was I into it.
Oh yeah, I was stoked.
I was like, oh my gosh, blew my redheaded brain. All right, so Stephen Van Zandt of Bruce Springsteen, the E Street Band fame, and Sopranos fame. Saw test audience for the prequel of the Sopranos, The Many Saints of Newark.
I have this. I have the reason why the guy in the other picture is circled is because that's the new guy playing the younger version.
Yeah.
Now, what's funny is, as I've talked about on this podcast, I started rewatching Sopranos. Or not rewatching, but watching it for the first time. I did not know that this was the Springsteen guy.
Oh, you didn't?
No. I thought he was just a guy that was trying to be Al Pacino. Like,
oh, really?
Like, really liked Al Pacino and really wanted to be Al Pacino.
That's funny.
I just, but what's funny is, when I saw this article pop up and I saw him, I'm like, oh, that guy. Like, I knew that guy in the Springsteen band. Like, I've seen him before, but never put it together that it was the same guy.
He's got a pretty good radio show, or he had. I don't know if he still does, but he had a pretty good radio show for it was like Underground Garage or something like that. He always played like some cool music. You could find some good bands on there. But either way, he was basically saying, you know, by the time it actually comes in theaters, it'll be a totally different movie than what I've seen. But he said it's going to be a totally different look and feel for The Sopranos, but it'll have a lot of the same feel that the show did. So,
Yeah.
You abandoned Sopranos, right?
Well, I have not. I've
What?
actually finished season 2. I was going to get into that later, but it's a good place to talk about it. Yeah, we picked it back up. We are in season 3. So can I spoil? I mean, I know that as far as like most everybody else in the world has seen this show besides me, but
Spoiler alert. Yep. Just hold your ears for about 2 minutes.
Okay, I'll just say this without saying names of characters. One of the last episodes I watched was where Tony and this guy and a few other people kill another character on a boat. Oh, yeah. And so now we're in season 3.
You can't say that name on YouTube anyway.
That's true. Well, you can in this regard. I think they'll let it slide. Yeah. So now we're in season 3, and like the FBI's like broken into Tony's house and bugged the house downstairs in the basement, and that's kind of where we are. So
this is the best thing about season 3. We keep talking about it, but episode 11ish, 10ish, I think it's 11.
Something about Pine
Barrens, baby. Oh yeah. And then Steve Buscemi starts sniffing around. He's on the show for a little while, and it just keeps growing, man.
I'll say this: my interest. I honestly was about checked out and didn't have any interest, but we were like, Melissa is actually the one that wanted to start back watching it, so you can give her the credit.
I knew I liked her.
And so, yeah, so we picked it back up, and I'm getting more into it as it's progressing. It still has its moments. So I'm like, that's super cheesy. This is a little dated. This has been done now so many times that this version of it is not as profound. But the story is starting to pick up for me, and the characters. I'm getting into more of the characters. So
yeah, it's. But have you ever found yourself? Woke up this morning, got myself a gun.
Have I found myself singing that?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Man,
I do sing it when it.
I used to have the soundtrack.
Now though, you've got the skip option on HBO, so
yeah,
I don't have to sit through it like y'all did when you watched it.
Man, so that show is just so good. I want to go back. I've probably watched every episode at least 4 times, maybe 5, because I've watched it with other people. Like I watched it through when it was originally on, and then some friends over the years have said, I've never watched Sopranos, and I owned them on DVD for a long time. Never purchased the Blu-rays. I've always wanted to. They were super expensive. But every Christmas, that was one thing that my dad, it was just known I was going to get the DVDs of Sopranos, and they were like $70 a season or whatever. And now you can get a season for like $5, $10. So it's like great investment.
Yeah.
But yeah, those. But I mean, the only thing is whether you like the show, dislike the show, which I don't understand how anybody dislikes the show, but if you like the show, dislike the show, you cannot say that show was not well acted and well directed. I mean, that show was so well acted. I mean, there's always going to be cheesy acting somewhere around the line, but
depending on who you're.
The mom, not so great. Not my favorite.
She's terrible. I really wanted to die soon.
You want her to die soon?
Not as a person, but on the show. I want her off. I want her.
Well, she's dead now in real life.
Oh, that's too bad.
So that's your fault.
I want the character to be gone. Christopher. I can't. She's what was that? Like, she's so, I don't know. Can't deal with her. Her and Junior both.
Yeah, well, Junior is an annoying character, but it's well acted.
I disagree. I think he's terrible.
Well acted. The glasses do most of the acting. So
everybody else is pretty solid.
Yeah. Christopher Moltisanti.
He's good. Yeah. He actually popped up in a movie that Melissa and I watched the other day. I can't remember.
He's a good writer. He wrote quite a few episodes of Sopranos, and he owns his own theater company now, I think, and writes a lot for the stage and whatnot. So it's actually pretty long in the tooth in his writing career. So, well, I know there's some stuff that Brandon's very excited about. Ryan. Well, you know what? You shouldn't even say his name until negotiations are finished.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. He who must not be named.
Yeah. That guy. Zack Snyder's Stone Quarry Productions signs first film deal with Netflix. So thank you, Netflix, for solidifying that I'm not coming back.
Well, speak for yourself.
He says, my goal and hope are to bring as much quality content as I can and do it on a giant scale.
You have some little dig you're wanting to add in there. Is that why you read that?
No, just that was the quote. That's what he said.
Yeah, he did say that. Now, this is a big deal for their production company. I'm excited for them because obviously, if you followed CapeCast, Ryan and I have talked at length about the whole Snyder Cut. Voldemort and I have talked at length about the Snyder Cut and the ins and outs of that whole mess with WB and
I don't care.
Look at you. Look at him. So yeah, it's good to see a studio embracing him as a filmmaker and letting him do things and not kind of tying his hands together. So anyway, but yeah, this doesn't just include him. It's his production company. And basically, as these things go, Matt Reeves has one of these deals with Netflix as well, his production company. So it just basically gives Netflix first right of refusal for any new property idea project that they want to do. It gives them the right to say, yeah, let's do it, or we don't want to do it. You can feel free to take it somewhere else if somebody else wants to do it, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, he does have a lot of things in the pipeline at Netflix. Got a movie that's about to debut a trailer this weekend. Another Army, it's the Army of the Dead kind of spinoff that's not directed by him, produced by them. And then an animated feature. And then they've got that abandoned Star Wars idea coming out, Rebel Moon, that they're about to start shooting, I think, at some point soon. So yeah, lots of things for me to look forward to on Netflix. So yeah, so that came out earlier this week. Excited for them. Obviously, Ryan and I are like, but restore the Snyderverse. Let's get some more DC stuff. But
don't think it's happening.
It still could happen because the likelihood of him returning to WB.
You're like the girl on prom night that's like, it's halfway through prom. You're like, he's still coming to pick me up. He's still coming to pick me up. I swear. He told me he was coming to pick me up.
I have so much invested in this story. I want to see it continue.
Nobody else does.
The whole IP thing, obviously, Netflix can't do DC unless WB lets them do DC. So that would be the only way. He'd have to go back to WB to do it. And he could, even with this contract, he could still do that. He could still, because they, that's their IP. But we'll see. Hopefully something will work out. Fingers crossed. Right? Oh, me.
You know what you are?
What?
You're difficult. Really difficult.
You-
You're a difficult man.
Yes, you are.
Well, all right. So I would say let's move our attention over to some of these trailers that have come out as of late.
Is that what you would say?
That's what I would say. The Kingsman special.
Yeah, this was from a few weeks ago. We've had so many trailers. Last week when we started our show, we had I'm not even
30?
kidding. I think we had 20, at least 20 on here. Yeah, it could have been 30.
It was insane. Like we were actually sweating it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we obviously weren't going to hit all of them, but we like to keep a few things on the dock that we haven't hit upon, just in case it's a slow week. And this week's kind of been a little slow. So besides all the Dune stuff that's come out.
Yeah, and being that it's just easier to talk just two people.
Tell me about it.
We can get these out. Yeah. So,
Ryan, what do you think? I didn't watch any of the trailers. I'll never watch them when you send them to me.
Watch some trailers. Too busy polishing my statues.
TMI, Ryan.
I love you, Superman. Boy, the contract negotiations are going really well. Oh no. So the Kingsman, are you excited to see a continuation, or this?
Yeah, I guess this is a prequel. But yeah,
the story.
Yeah. Yeah, I like both entries. I like the first one a little more, but this looks good. A lot of people are more invested in this franchise than I am. I find it like, this is fun. This is like, I put this on like the John Wick category for me personally. I enjoy them. I'll go see them. And after I see them, I will, probably not return to them for, a while. Like it's not a franchise that I revisit. But I do like the lore that they've kind of put in place, this whole Secret Service Kingsman organization, and then seeing the origin of it is interesting, and it'll be a good change of pace to move away from like the Eggsy stuff and get a little more old school. I love is it Ralph Fiennes or Ray Fiennes? Ralph Fiennes.
Ralph. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Pretty certain.
I really like him. Speaking of He Who Must Not Be Named.
Yeah. Voldemort.
Yeah. It all comes around, comes full circle.
Speaking of that, I found out I might be going to the Harry Potter in Universal in September if the world doesn't shut down again. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice. Well, even if it does, then you can still go because
I'll break in.
They're not gonna. They're not gonna shut down. They'll just make you wear a mask.
Yeah.
I'll stay open.
I don't know that I'll go to the theater to see this. I did enjoy the first two. The more I think about the second one, I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I did. Yeah. The meat grinder part is what really sticks out in my head. But wasn't Julianne Moore like the baddie? Yeah. I enjoyed her in there more than I thought I would.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it. I've only seen it once.
But yeah, I remember enjoying it. But I don't know. I think I'll go back and watch the original two first, and then the first one, that church scene was the one thing that really kind of, I went and saw the Kingsman when everybody was like, like it wasn't that popular when it first came out in theater. Like it was kind of, and I went and saw it. Was it because of Movie Pass or something? I just happened upon it. I think I was bored one day and just went and saw a movie, and I loved it. I was like, whoa, this was fun. Cause I totally had no expectations whatsoever. And I think the thing that might kind of dampen this for me is that I have expectations at this point. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's my own problem, but I'm just saying that's the way I look at this. So either way, I hope they make all their money, get their money, be good.
Sure. Well, One thing I want to hit on real quick. I mentioned this being similar to like as far as my fandom with it as to the John Wick franchise. Do you remember this trailer from a few weeks ago? This Richard Dreyfuss Crime Story trailer.
Yeah.
If you're out there and you haven't seen the trailer to Crime Story, go give it a watch.
Dr. Leo Marvin.
I didn't know Dreyfuss was still acting.
I didn't know he's still
I
alive.
definitely didn't expect him to be in a movie like this. This is kind of like a senior citizen version of Nobody, it seems. But
falling down, yeah.
meets doesn't look good. But
No, it does.
It's
It
one
was
of those things where just they're trying to make him like
BA
physically imposing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he can't,
Yeah.
Bless him.
Richard Dreyfuss. No, thank you. Never. I'll be honest with you. I'm not the biggest Richard Dreyfuss guy. I thought he played a perfect jerk in What About Bob? But other than that, not the
I
biggest
liked him
fan.
in that. Yeah. My whole like, I guess association with him is What About Bob and Jaws, obviously.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I remember in middle school, everybody was going crazy for Mr. Holland's Opus. He was in that, right?
Yeah. He was Mr. Holland's Opus.
Okay. We had so many jokes about that movie title.
Oh yeah.
Immature and in middle school.
Opus turned
can
into
imagine.
a lot of fun words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the maturity of boys.
Yes.
Well, there is something that's coming out. Apple TV Plus may have my interest with Mr. Corman.
Yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I'm a fan. I like this guy.
Mhm.
This looks very interesting. I'll be honest with you. He wrote and directed this, right?
Yeah.
I believe this. Okay, so John Cusack at one point or another, and like High Fidelity, all of his '80s movies and everything, that is like a John Cusack movie. Gross Point Blank, all of that. This feels like a Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like 500 Days of Summer
Right.
kind of thing, and this has that same kind of feel. And I like that movie, 500 Days of Summer. So this has me at hello. I'm hoping it has the same type of vibe. Where you have your inner thoughts kind of seen on screen. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. How about yourself?
Yeah, same. I thought it looked really good. There's a few things coming out on Apple TV Plus that now have piqued my interest. But yeah, this is definitely one of them. What was the Don John? That was the first one that he directed.
Oh yeah, with
see that one?
Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, I saw that. It was not good.
And like I saw it in theaters once. I thought it was fine. There was so much hype around that movie because it like sold for so much at like Sundance or whatever it was. I remember Tony Danza was also in it. That was the first time I'd seen him in a while. Yeah, this looks really good. It looks like kind of like you were saying, those other movies that he's been in. It has that vibe. It's also got this like kind of in that vein, like it seems like it's going to be musical to a degree, not like a musical, but have a lot of music drops and different little like things like that, kind of like in an Edgar Wright fashion, way he uses music. Yeah, looks really good. And we'll definitely, that in addition to maybe one or two other things, may have to get Apple TV Plus at least for a little stint to check some of this stuff out.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting nervous. They're well, play it.
I'm not going to drop it.
Okay, good.
No.
Well, you got to be nervous about you damn kid.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
Have you seen Sling Blade? Do you like Sling Blade? I love Sling Blade. It's like
love Sling Blade. That movie is good. That, and I don't know why. You know how much I dislike old Tom Cruise, but Rain Man is just one of those movies I can watch a million times in a row too. I like that version of Tom Cruise. I don't like action hero Tom Cruise. I'll say that. So,
Gotcha.
whatever. Let's talk about a movie that I don't understand why it's coming out.
Okay.
This movie Habit. Why? Did you watch this trailer?
Yeah, I did.
Like this
Well,
looks
it's
like
coming out because we're old, and it seems to be marketed at people that know who Bella Thorne is, because I don't. The only thing I know about Bella Thorne is that she made a lot of money by going to OnlyFans or something recently.
and then she got mad. And then she got mad at everybody for like saying she was of that, one of like a particular type of star.
Yeah.
But did you see the movie with Aubrey Plaza and where they were the nuns? But it was what was that movie? The Little Hours. It had Kate McCucci and Alison Brie and Dave Franco in it, and Jeff Baiana, which is, I think he directed it. Yeah, he directed it. That's another movie where it was like, now these aren't real nuns in this movie Habit, and I'm not offended for nuns. I'm not saying that. But the foul mouth nun thing just seems like a trope that is, or like, it's kind of annoying. The Little Hours movie is awful. I mean, awful. It's not any good whatsoever. There's no redeeming value from that movie whatsoever. This movie looks like it's pretty much the same thing. These people, so in the movie, The Little Hours, they're actually nuns back in like the 19th century or something like that. I can't remember. And they get upset and they curse a lot. They talk like folks of today back then. So it just threw me out of it. But this one's where they pose as nuns and just go ham. But I don't know. This looks like a movie that would have been on Cinemax like back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of one of those like teen like Jawbreakers, or one of those type of movies that would have came out when I was
a teen,
and I would have like a lot of the like, girls in my school at that time would really like latch on to, and boys would watch it because they're trying to make nice with the girls kind of thing. I don't know. It's just not for me. People will watch it or they won't, but this will be probably the last time we talk about it. So there's that. It
looks awful. Made me clutch my pearls.
One thing that I thought did not look awful, Al.
Yeah.
You skipped over it, but I'm going to throw it up here anyway. Is Scenes from a Marriage.
Bergman already
coming. True, but he didn't make it with Jessica Chastain and Oscar Isaac. So
would have been impossible. I'm pretty sure both of them were like not even born when he died.
This looks awesome. I don't know anything about it, but it just seems like super like slice of life, like really like raw type
should watch
marriage, family experiences, and I'm all there for it.
This is a show, right?
I believe, like a mini series type.
You should. Seriously, man, you should watch the movie.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? How you doing?
Thanks for joining. How's it going?
How's your mother?
Hey, mother for me.
How's your mother doing, huh? Yeah.
We talked. You're late, bro. We talked about it earlier, but we both are really excited for it.
Yeah, Al's actually excited about something.
Hey, imagine that. But yeah, we're excited for it. We're kind of like just trying to put it out of our memory, honestly, because we just want to forget and go in as fresh as possible, because it was a long trailer, lots of things to see.
We're going to have lobotomies later, so we can. So
Yeah.
It'll
You go first.
trigger us. Yeah, I'll be the test subject. So, and if you are just tuning in, we're still in negotiations with Ryan. That's why he's not here tonight. Contracts.
It's tricky. It's really, we really
tricky.
can't say much about it.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
what we can say is, oh, well.
He dead to us. Yeah.
That's what we can say.
That's all there is to say. Love you, Ryan. Miss you. Wish you weren't so busy that you can't make time for us. So, oh well.
I feel like I'm a kid again.
Get over it. Yeah. What else you got?
Nothing. Now I'm just gonna cry. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll probably watch it, but I do highly suggest anybody that's going to watch this, not because you want to compare and contrast it, but
because it's on Criterion. We get it.
No. It's because of the filmmaker himself. So that's what I'm saying. So do that. Watch that. And I guarantee these people are doing this because of that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's in the trailer. They name drop him in the trailer. So
there you go. I mean, right there. Case closed. That's all I'm saying, That's what I used to do after I watched Sopranos. I had to go around talking like that. Just like, I don't know why. It's so stupid. It's like if you watch Wayne's World, you have to talk like them. So
I get that.
Yeah. So, all right. Did you watch the trailer for AMC's The North Water?
I did watch it.
Are you excited?
Yeah. Well. Oh, you don't have to apologize. We appreciate you stopping in.
Just glad you're here, man. We'll go another hour for you. Let's start over.
Sure.
We'll start over.
Yeah. Welcome to CiNEMACHiNE.
No,
Ryan's not here.
Thanks for stopping by. Seriously.
I mean, I didn't think this looked bad. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not as interested in this type of movie. Like, do you ever see, what was the Russell Crowe Master and Commander?
Yeah. I didn't see it, but I know what you're talking about. It's not really my thing either.
Yes.
So I will say this though. I mean, it looks like it's well made.
Yeah, no, it does. Colin Farrell I'm sure he's great in it. Looks like he's really invested in the part.
He's probably in this a lot longer than he's in the Batman. So
yeah. Hey, give me 1 second. My dog's gonna knock down my door if I don't let her in.
I'll take over the show, everybody. So welcome to Criterion Corner. Brandon's dog, Luna, is not Luna, Leia. Too many L's in that household. Well, so I have been lately collecting more stuff. I went to Record Store Day and I got some soundtracks. First off, I got Aliens on vinyl. Let's see here. There we go. Aliens on vinyl. It has the acid blood. It's kind of like a green and yellow kind of marble vinyl. This is awesome. This was a great pickup. And I put a little sample of it on our Instagram, showing off the vinyls that I bought here.
I see that.
And also I bought Cat Stevens, Harold and Maude. Have you ever seen Harold and Maude, Brandon?
So many times.
Seems like a movie that's right up your alley. Young teenage boy falls in love with a elderly woman.
Yeah, we talked about. I really haven't seen it, but we talked about when you were like giving me the rundown of it. I was mentioning that it sounded like that fake movie from The Office that Jack Black and Cloris Bleachman is in.
Yeah. But this soundtrack is fantastic. Cat Stevens. If you haven't listened to the soundtrack, now the cool thing is that this is the first time that this was released in the US. So that's pretty exciting. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I've listened to it quite a few times. And it's just one of those albums that you kind of get bummed when it stops, when it's over. So you just flip it over and start it again. It's just really good, man. It's just so good, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Gives you just good feels.
Great.
Yeah.
I get it.
All right. So all's well in the world of Brandon's house again.
Yeah.
So,
My dog's inside now. So we're good.
Let's talk about a trailer that I'm intrigued by, and that is The Stuntman. This is going to be on Disney Plus.
Gosh, I thought you were highlighting something else.
The Stuntman on Disney Plus. So Evel Knievel, was it Snake River Canyon? Was going to fly over Snake River Canyon in a rocket, and it didn't work. So this particular stuntman has been tasked with trying to do that. They hired him to be the guy that does. He's been a stuntman for decades.
Years and years and years.
Decades. And he's going to try to do what Evel Knievel couldn't, because they have better engineering now.
Survive.
Yeah, well, Evel Knievel was he survived. What a dark cloud. I'm eager to watch this. I like things like this. I find stuntmen to be some of the most intriguing people because I don't understand what's going through their head. Did this spark any interest in you? Because I don't watch many things on Disney Plus, but I will say I'll be watching this for sure.
Yeah. No, it looks good. I'm a sucker for documentaries, and this is not something that I've. Yeah. But yeah, it looks good. I don't. I have like a very loose knowledge with Evel Knievel, but I mean, this guy seems like he's been doing. The guy that did this documentary he's been doing stuff since like Dukes of Hazzard. So he's been around for a while doing stunts. With it being on, I wish it was on a different platform. Just because Disney Plus will probably shy away from anything super dangerous or, life threatening as far as like showing stuff. Yeah. Not that I'm like, I want like,
lose a leg.
I like a warts and all documentary. So, but it still looks good.
It's just sick.
Yeah.
Because you're sick in the head.
Maybe.
Well, so speaking of stuntmen, they released the trailer for Jack A Forever.
It's true. They did.
This week. It was fun to see most of the guys back. There's something terrifying at the end of the trailer.
Minus Bam Margera.
Margera might be going through the scariest thing in life. I really do hope he gets well. I really did appreciate him. Ryan Dunn's not there because he tragically died. And Ryan Dunn was my favorite of the guys for whatever reason. Maybe because he was redheaded, whatever, or blonde but looked redheaded to me. Anyway, had a little red in his beard, a little red, a little strawberry blonde action.
I guess you see what you want to see.
Nobody is represented on screen that looks like me. I'm starting the campaign tomorrow.
Yeah.
These guys have really put themselves. I mean, Steve-O is clean and sober now. But these guys are still doing the thing. From my understanding, Johnny Knoxville has a colostomy bag now. His body's pretty tattered and torn. He's almost 50 years old. But man, does this look pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, anything they put out is all. I mean, you even watched the Action Point knockoff Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, I was on the road at the time, and I was like, man, I just want to not be in a hotel room. So I went and saw that movie in the theater because it was the only thing out at the time that I hadn't seen. And I was like, oh, Johnny Knoxville. I like Johnny Knoxville. That movie's terrible. But
are the stunts any good? Because he did do like
yeah,
stunts
yeah, I know.
it,
I mean,
right?
yeah, he got hurt pretty bad in that movie. But yeah, I mean, and you can tell they're real. You can tell they're real. But the movie's pretty bad. Yeah. But I mean, you know, I'm not going to say I'm like an Uber fan. I didn't watch the grandfather movies or whatever.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah, I didn't see those.
You should watch it. It's really good.
But I like when, you know, Spike Jonze is involved with them sometimes, and I like Spike Jonze, and I don't know. It was a very unique concept back in the day, and still they do it better than anybody else. So, I mean, a lot of people attempt.
When I was in middle school, Jackass was hitting pretty big at that point. And so at my church, me and some of my buddies, we all started our own version called Mule. We had one episode that we played at church.
What was the stunt?
Oh, we did a bunch of stunts. I gotta find it. Maybe if I can find it, we could put it up. Like I'd have to somehow digitize it. It's on VHS.
That's on. That's a Patreon thing. That's a Patreon thing for sure.
It was. I mean, looking back, it was so stupid. But we did nothing super dangerous, but just dumb stunts. But yeah. Long live Mule. He only lasted one episode. But
did anybody get hurt?
I got hurt, but only because
that makes it funnier.
My dog was biting me. The dog that I had at the time. We were pulling a little like Rutabaker, like round disc thing from the back of a 4-wheeler. And not in the snow or anything, just like in the pasture. And my dog hated that anybody was on this thing, and so he would just bite you while they were pulling you. And so I've still got a little scar on my arm but that's it. That's the only thing.
Well, well, I mean, you know, when you can bounce back from things like that, it works out. So, I can't get over the fact that you had a thing called Mule.
Yeah. Mule.
Oh boy. That's pretty good. Well, let's talk about now we talked about the teaser, but let's talk about the full trailer of Demonic. I don't want to see this trailer. I'm not going to watch this trailer. I'm just going to go watch the movie.
So you haven't seen it?
I saw a little bit of the teaser. I'm just saying I know what the movie's about. I've read up on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things kind of like Denis Villeneuve has me coming in the theater. I mean, I'm going in the theater because I trust the filmmaker on this one. So,
yeah. Well, I did watch the trailer. It looks cool. It leans into the horror element more than I expected it to. As far as because he hasn't done anything like that yet. As far as theatrical, I know that he has that like Oates.
He being Neil Blomkamp. Neither one of us said
yeah.
Neil Blomkamp.
Blomkamp. But yeah, this seems much more in the horror genre than his previous theatrical stuff, but with like a sci-fi twist. Twisty. That is twisty. Yeah, no, it looks good. And again, and probably like you, I'm in for I'm all about the Blomkamp. So
Blomkamp.
But yeah, it comes out, and I think it's theaters and VOD, so you don't have to go to a theater to see this one.
I'll probably
Probably
go
should.
just to do it.
This was the one that he filmed over the pandemic, I believe.
Yeah, it's Noomi Rapace, right? Is it Noomi Rapace?
No,
It's not.
no,
I thought it was.
that was a different movie that we talked about last week.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if there's any big names in this. Carly Pope.
Oh yeah. Oh, Carly Pope. Yeah, we go way back.
Oh, Carly Pope.
Natalie Bolt. I mean, dude, naming them all. Either way,
Yeah,
I'm pretty excited. I trust the filmmaker, like I said. So we shall see.
sure.
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of them. I think we need. I mean,
One trailer that did come out this week that we need to touch upon
oh gosh,
is The Last Duel.
yeah,
Ridley Scott's next movie.
I have no interest in this.
Now, I told you guys, and I hate to say it. You know, I hate to say this.
Mhm.
I thought the inclusion of Affleck and Damon were so distracting in this type of setting.
Mhm.
I think Jodie Comer is by her in this part, by her in this role. It looks great. Same thing with Adam Driver, by him. Affleck and Damon they look like Affleck and Damon with wigs, especially Affleck's getup. I don't understand that choice.
The
but
blonde hair.
yeah. I mean, maybe it's because of the character he's based on. Maybe that's the way he looked. But yeah, they took me out a lot. Unfortunately, just their inclusion, nothing to do with acting or anything. They just look out of place. But I do love Ridley Scott, and I may have mentioned this, that I watched his director's cut of Kingdom of Heaven for the first time not too long ago, and really, really enjoyed it. And so this is in a similar era, so I'm excited to see him. I never saw like Robin Hood that he did, but obviously Gladiator. Those all kind of fall in the same vein for me. But
Yeah, Gladiator was really good to me. That was all about performances.
you talked about your first DVD being Clerks,
Yeah.
or no, Mallrats.
Mallrats.
Gladiator was my first DVD.
Nice.
So.
Went downhill from there. So, yeah, I don't know. Just didn't intrigue me. But I mean, could be wrong. Ridley Scott, like I said, Ridley Scott just has failed me so many times in the past. He hasn't redeemed himself, so I just don't know if he has it anymore.
You're still holding Covenant against him. I get it.
Not only that, I didn't like Prometheus.
Yeah, I liked it. He's prolific, man. For his age, you got to give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Rolling Stones are going back out on tour, so
yeah,
they're all the same age.
There's a spider on my camera.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, let's start to make our way out of here. What's coming out this week?
I'm watching it. It's so tiny. I'm trying to keep track of it so it doesn't get on me.
Oh yeah, what'd you watch this week? I know you watched something with the kiddos.
Oh yeah, that's true. I did. So yeah, I watched. I meant to get the. Let me see. I'll see if I can pull it up while we're talking. But yeah, so this weekend I had two things. I'll start off with the first thing. My nephew came over Friday night, spent the night. I think I may have mentioned that we were doing this anyway last time on the podcast, but
yeah, you did.
We watched Space Jam: New Legacy on HBO Max. Did not make it out to the theater.
Made it,
but
the theater.
Home theater. I don't understand the vitriol for this movie online, I'm going to be honest.
It's LeBron James.
I guess so. I thought this movie was fine. I love the first Space Jam. I think this is not as good, but I think it's in keeping. I know a lot of people have problems with the LeBron stuff aside. I don't know the history of him. I don't know any kind of controversy around him.
Mm-hmm. There's no need to get into it here either.
Well, I couldn't if I wanted to.
I'm just saying I'm not going to.
Okay.
Let me tell you.
Wait. Okay. Regardless, I mean, he's not great in the movie. He's not a good actor, but Jordan wasn't a great actor either, but he is better than LeBron.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. I thought it was fun. I mean, I know a lot of people have a problem with all the like IP inclusion as far as like all the, the different character WB. They felt like it was just a big ad for WB, which I mean, it is, I guess, to a sense, but
what they're supposed to
all
do.
That stuff is like, it's true. I mean, all these winks and nods and character pulls and stuff, it's all for the adults in the room. None of it is for kids. Like the stuff that they pull, it's like Matrix and Casablanca and Mad Max Fury Road and all like, and Austin Powers. It's like, okay. Luna kept asking me, so what is this from? And I had to explain to her. But yeah, I thought it was enjoyable other than the terrible acting, and the contrived nature of to which the basketball game even comes to fruition. Like, okay, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I don't have a high bar when it comes to this. So it was popcorn. And my kid and my nephew loved it. I've actually seen it twice now. I had some friends come over with their kids Monday and we watched it again. And what's funny is, so for context, the actual game at the end of the movie that they play, they have it like surrounded with every character you can think of in the WB catalog. You've got Nicholson's Joker there. You've got Selena Kyle, the Pfeiffer, Selena Kyle, Catwoman. You've got, but they're all like cosplayers. Like none of them look like the actors, or they're all just like So that's a little. But here's the thing about that, which was kind of what I was going to get into, which is that's so distracting that the first time I watched it, because I was just looking for characters the entire time. I wasn't paying attention to anything that was going on the screen. And so my second viewing, I was actually able to stop looking for characters and watch the game. And I thought it was fine. I mean, it was fine. I don't get the hate. But
well, you got to think about it also, Brandon. You're watching this to a certain extent. You're watching this through the eyes of children because you've got children right next to you, and especially your daughter. So you've got that. And you've got the sentimental value of the original movie. Whereas a lot of these...
You would think that because the way that narrative usually goes is the people that grew up on this, when the new thing comes out, they're like, oh, that's not my whatever. I could definitely be like that if I wanted to. And yeah, it isn't my Space Jam, but
not my Space Jam.
I still thought it was, surface level enjoyable.
But I'm saying that most of these people... And I don't know these people, but I'm guessing a lot of these people that are watching this are just watching it by themselves or with other adults. And they're not watching it with, when you watch with children, you can watch with a different hat, a different set of rose colored glasses on. Not to say that's what you did, but I'm just saying you are watching the glee of the kids enjoy it. So you're watching it for different reasons. Some people hate watch this. Some people don't even watch it. I'll be honest with you. I don't care. Since he's been a thing, I have not liked LeBron James. It's just not something. I don't care for him whatsoever. I don't want anything bad to happen to him, but I'm just saying I just am not a fan. I don't respect him as a. I don't like basketball. I just don't respect him and the way he goes about things, and that's why I'm staying away from this. But I also don't like.
Spatter is dead.
Oh, murder! Murder.
Sorry
first
for any
CiNEMACHiNE.
people that hold spiders in high regard. I just murdered one.
PETA Get those.
I couldn't let it land on me.
Let's have a moment of silence. Okay.
Rest in peace,
So,
Swag.
so anyway, I'm just saying that, I'm not going to watch. I'm also not a fan of the original Space Jam. So there's nothing for me here.
Yeah.
My nephews and my niece all told me they're not interested in watching this. So
Well,
it's not their
the
thing
funny
either.
thing is most kids don't have any knowledge of Looney Tunes.
Right.
They've just put out new Looney Tunes stuff on HBO Max, like a revival show.
They've deemed most of it
But-
offensive. So
I did see that they're giving Elmer Fudd his gun back for the next season. So progress.
yeah.
Anyway, that was
Well-
Space Jam. I enjoyed it for what it was. It's not going to change your life, but I thought it's well made as far as film, like cinematography.
Who knows?
Pretty to look at. Special effects are good. It's cool for me. It's like, oh look, they're in the Matrix. You wouldn't like that. I understand. Oh look, they're in Mad Max Fury Road. It's Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner and and it's all these all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, that's neat. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Well, I don't know.
Now let me do my part 2 to that real quick, if you don't mind.
I thought it sucked.
So I had my nephew over. We were talking about different movies, and I'd recently I told Luna that I went and saw The Quiet Place 2 or whatever, and she's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a sequel to this movie. It's about yada yada." I showed her the trailer, and Luna it kind of intrigued her a little bit. She ended up telling my other nephew about it, and my nephews are super into horror movies, the idea of horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're always like, "What's the scariest movie you ever seen?" I think I may have mentioned that in a show prior.
Something Mr. Owl made me watch. Not for the reasons you may think.
Yeah. So I was telling him about Quiet Place, and so then I talked them into it, and we all went down Saturday into my theater at home, and we watched the first Quiet Place.
Mm-hmm.
And they loved it. They're hooked. It's been so fun. Like now that my nephews and Luna as well, obviously Luna, but also the nephews are getting into more movies that aren't just Disney animated movie, like a little bit more into the adult realm of movies.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like super curious. Like they saw this movie, and that's like they told everybody about this movie that they saw and what happened, and that there's a sequel coming out. And because I told them, I was like, well, if you like this, then the part 2 comes out on Blu-ray in 2 weeks. We can watch it here if you want to. And they're like stoked for that. So Luna was very scared for the first half, and then she just had a click, and she was just like, it was actually the moment, spoilers for A Quiet Place, the sacrificial moment with Krasinski's character. She was like, I figured that would ruin her, because those type of things typically do like break her as like a viewer, just distraught, ugly crying. But she was like, oh, he's sacrificing himself for the kids so that they can live. Like it just like switched, and she was just like, no longer was anything scary. It was just like, this is a heroic moment, and she was like all in.
Daddy,
like
why don't you die for me?
Yeah, right. I would do it. But
her daddy
yeah.
loves her more.
But no, so that was really fun, and I'm super excited to watch the sequel with them. So we're
Comes
making
out
plans
Tuesday,
now.
right? So yeah,
Comes out this Tuesday. So I think we're watching it Wednesday if all goes as planned.
cool.
So yeah.
So
that
tune
was,
in next week to get the report of Quiet Place 2 with children.
Exactly. Yep. Exciting times. What about you, Al? Have you watched anything? Let me guess. It's Criterion.
I did watch a Criterion movie. It's one of the newer releases called Deep Cover.
I like the treatment for the title. I like the
Oh no, the cover art's great, and it's like supposed to be a film noir. Bill Duke, everybody might remember him as the bald guy that explodes in Predator, except for Brandon, of course. And he was in Mandy. He's been in so many things. After you see Bill Duke's face, you're like, oh, that guy. He's been in 1,000 things. He directed this movie. So what drew me to this movie was Bill Duke, Jeff Goldblum, not Lawrence Fishburne. Can't stand Lawrence. The only thing I like him in is
It's
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Fishborn.
Sure, why not?
Born.
Don't care. This movie
That's a joke.
is not good. Everybody can sit there and try to make it out.
You're striking out with your criterions.
This movie is
This is
not
like-
good. This movie is poorly acted.
This is why
Fishburne-
I don't suggest buying Criterion.
Fishburne and Jeff Goldblum. Of course, Goldblum is Goldblum. What's funny is he looks better now than he did back then. The guy is insane, but
He's aged well.
yeah, he's aged very well. He's like 68 years old. So anyway, I watched this movie. Not a big fan of this movie at all. You know, I hear people all the time. I'm going to watch it again.
I just remembered this. I meant to ask you about this if you had an issue with it, but the C Criterion thing is like right over the D cover title
like
treatment.
It. Yeah, I don't
What
like it.
and what were? Come on.
Yeah, cover art.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. Other than that, I'm right there with you. No. So whatever. I mean, the opening titles are just so cheesy. The thing is that I've had 3 strikes in my, I don't know, 5 or so years of collecting Criterion. 5, 6 years. Longer than that. Maybe 7. I don't know. Anyway, I've had 3 movies that I didn't like, and this is one of those movies. And I love film noir, and I love So here's the thing: I love 80s action movies. Love them. This is made in like 86. I love film noir. Love it. This movie has a guy that is trying. He's like supposed to be the hip guy on the street, and he goes, you know, he's like the big muscle guy and everything. And he's like, yeah, man, like the man in the movie says, I'll be back. And it's like, like, it's just like he's trying to say like the Terminator, but he says like the man in the movie says. I don't know if they just didn't have the right. I don't know what it was, but it was just, a lot of just the acting. The acting is what took me out of it. Every single person except for Goldblum and there's one other cop. I cannot remember his name. Saved my life, but Goldblum saves the show. Lawrence Fishburne, he's not bad. I'm not saying the direction's terrible, but the direction is terrible if the acting's bad because the director's supposed to get good. But here's the thing, man. People celebrate this movie for some reason. I don't know. There's something out there. So watch it if you want to. I think it's poopy. So, you know, I am telling the truth. It's a Criterion movie. I'm not just sitting up here saying every Criterion's good. So, but I was really excited for this movie too. Really excited. And it just didn't get me going. So whatever. Whatever.
Well,
can't win them all.
That's true.
Well,
I have another spider.
Oh my gosh. Brandon's going to get bitten. He's going to be a superhero next week.
They're all tiny. I wonder if we have a nest. They're spider nests.
It's called webs.
Like a bunch of eggs hatched.
Yeah, they
Charlotte's Web.
They put them in these little sacks. So, all right. So let's talk about what's coming out this week and get out of here. All right. So this week we have 3 movies that we've highlighted. We have Old, Snake Eyes.
So you're trying to like draw that out because I was running behind getting the graphic up.
It's all right. It's all right.
We have 3 movies we are highlighting, and they are
drum roll. Old, Snake Eyes, and Jolt. I will not be seeing any of these. How about you?
I do want to see Old.
Snake Eyes looks terrible. Looks awful.
I've said this on Capecast. I think Snake Eyes looks. Here's the thing. I don't have any like fandom with the G.I. Joe franchise, really.
I was a fan. Not to say that I'm not. I don't care about the movies, but
it seems like they've taken many liberties with his character based on the fandom of that character.
I don't know what the rap song is they have on the trailer because come on, build it up. I don't know what he says, but that's all I know. And I hate the trailer because that's the one thing I hate. And I just hear and I was like, oh my gosh, like you could, even if you have your back turned, you know what trailer it is. So I guess they did a good job, but it looks like it's as poor quality as the Mortal Kombat movie that just came. It just looks terrible, in my opinion. So no interest.
Well, I thought it. I mean, as we were talking about it in comparison to like Shang-Chi, which is also a martial arts movie on the Marvel front, I thought it looked better than that. But it's not going to get me out of my house to see it. If anything was if I was gonna watch something this week, I'd watch Old because that one looks intriguing. Jolt, on the other hand, for Amazon Prime, looks like a very. It looks like. I mean, I like Kate Beckinsale. Who doesn't? She's very easy on the eyes. Okay, and I could watch her in anything, but she looks like in this movie they're trying to do that Atomic Blonde type John Wick thing with her. And listen, she's been in the Underworld franchise. She can pull it off. She has, but now I don't know if she's older now or if the directing just isn't on par with those movies. It just looked very mediocre and just kind of meh by the trailer.
Mediocre,
just uninspired. So yeah, Old would be the one that I would go see, and I am honestly interested in seeing Old. I loved Split from Shyamalan as far as recent entries. I loved that movie. I was very disappointed in Glass. But I've heard good things about Old. Not from anybody I know, but people online.
I've heard things. I know a thing or two about a thing or two. So yes. Well,
yeah. So that's it. That's this week.
All right. Well, I tell you what, let's tell everybody where they can find us again. And then we'll make fun of Ryan a little bit more and then get out of here.
Sure. Well, yep. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, you can find us on CiNEMACHiNEpod.com. And you can find us here on YouTube on Tuesdays and Thursdays routinely with Capecast and this show, 9 p.m. Al's putting out his Criterion stuff. Al's got a big roundtable that he's working together. He'll probably announce some stuff about that soon for Criterion.
Yep.
You're doing that live, I guess?
No, we're recording it.
Record it. Okay.
And then we're going to release it next Wednesday.
Gotcha. So look out for that. And find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and now on Patreon. Just look for CiNEMACHiNE Pod, and you can find it on all those platforms.
Yes.
We appreciate the follows, the likes, any support you can throw our way. Much appreciated.
Makes us feel special. Yeah, I like Brandon said, I have one more. Oh, good guy. This month has really caught me off guard. So I thought I was finished with buying Criterion, and then I was driving past the Barnes and Noble the other day. I was like, let's see if they have that one. And I just my car just said, I want to go. And so we went in, and I didn't know this, but I don't know if it's all, but this particular Barnes and Noble was closing at 7 p.m. I got there at 6:45. No, 6:52. They did the announcement, we're closing in 8 minutes. And I still managed to buy 4 movies. So like I was I was like, good Lord. So so hurry up,
So
July, get over with.
What's your hauls so far? Like how many have you gotten?
I lost count.
Total.
Let's count. I think I'm up in the at least 12 to 15, maybe 16 range this month.
Gotcha.
It's a lot. it's a lot. But
well, Reaction Reviews is going to see Snake Eyes, it seems. So you report back and let us know how it is.
You do that.
So.
Thanks for being our person on the street to figure out if Snake Eyes is good. There we go. So, like we said, someone's not here this week. Negotiations. Everybody, please share your thoughts about that on our social and everything. Let that person know what you really think. Personally,
You are a vicious bastard, retaliate. I'm glad you're dead. I'm glad you're dead.
snuck that one in there.
Al learned how to add in a clip.
So we'll be having Killing of a Sacred Deer clips very soon. And everybody,
Did you add that during the show?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, I didn't see that one.
Snuck it in there while you were droning on and on about Zack Snyder. So
now I'm gonna have to. Oh man, okay, it's fine. I'm just kidding. So you have to send it to me because you got to alphabetize them, otherwise you can't find them. So in order to do that, you got to delete them all and add them again. This is all behind the scenes stuff that none of you care to know about, but
I'm not that.
It is a good one to have.
Yeah.
So I'll add it in there.
We'll shorten it. Anyway. All right, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. Brandon and I held down the fort. I think very well. Personally,
Yeah.
Brandon, great job.
Thanks.
And
Same.
Yeah, thank you. I really do appreciate it. And hey, if this is the way it ends
Listen,
up,
you can count on me, okay? I'm just a guy that likes movies. I got a family. You know, they want me upstairs. They don't want me down here.
he
But
said, no,
Make the time.
child, you cannot spend time with your father. I'm got to go do a show about movies because the people need my information. Whereas
Exactly.
somebody else said, I tired.
I had to do work this week.
I
Didn't have time. I didn't have time to get figurines and make boxes for my vinyl collection.
I didn't mean to hit that again. Oh, my. So anyway, well, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. Seriously, we do appreciate everything. Please do continue the conversation on social with us. Make sure you tune in for Cape Cast, for Criterion Corner, for all the many things that we have planned. We're trying to get as much news out there and from as many angles as we can and give you guys some great entertainment. So until we see you on the next episode, keep watching a lot of movies. Thank you for watching CiNEMACHiNE.